inside of you, you kind of lack that sense of clarity because a lot of what you're doing has become about meeting obligations instead of the passion that you actually have for doing it. If you come to the retreat, you're going to be helped with that problem. You're going to gain clarity. You're going to figure out what you should be doing from here on out. You're going to actually come up with some steps that you can take. Okay. Hello, hello. Threw you off guard, I bet you, because today, you see, I have on a little necktie, I have on my little red vest, and I decided to change it up a little bit. Normally, you see me in kind of workout style clothes because, of course, at Bounce Pep, we're always talking about a fit and flourishing future, okay? Fit comes first. But I'm going to be talking today with the leaders out there. So, a lot of you out there are either running a business or you have founded a business. Not quite the same thing, of course. You don't necessarily have to have been a founder to be actually in charge of a business. Maybe you're a CEO or a CFO or a vice president or something like that, but you're relatively high up, you're an executive, or you are actually a founder of some kind of an organization, whether it's a company or an NGO or whatever it is, but you have responsibilities. And recently you've kind of lost that sense of clarity about what you're doing and why you're doing it. So we're going to talk about something, or really the first thing that I think that you can do to get back a sense of clarity. So this is Mark Johnson. I am the founder of Bounce Pep, bringing you ideas for a fit and flourishing future. If you heard me before, you know that I am the youngest son of Bill Johnson as well. That is my father. He's 93 years old. He's going to keep going. So with that said, just let me thank my subscribers. If you have not subscribed, I want you to go ahead and do so. Don't be bashful. Go ahead and do it. You're going to get value. Now, let's jump right in with this discussion, because if you are someone who is in a position of leadership, especially if you're an owner, or again, if you are in charge of running business, so you're in the executive class, so to speak, then you know that you have a lot of people depending on you. And this is not only within the organization that you're responsible for running, but you also have family who depend on you a lot of times, and even friends sometimes who are depending on you. And so people are looking at you as a leader, and they look to you for guidance. They look to you for help. They expect you to have the answers. And truth be told, of course, you know, people who are leaders don't always have all the answers, but the fact of the matter is people expect them to. And if you're in that position, people are going to be going to you. They're going to be making requests of you. They're going to expect you to know what you're talking about all the time. So there is a certain amount of pressure, to look the part and to basically be the part when you are in a leadership position. So I know that this can be quite a bit of pressure, and sometimes you can get to a point where you're running an organization or maybe a significant part of an organization, and you almost start to forget exactly why you're doing it, because it seems like the obligations are really taking over your whole sense of being. In other words, you can be doing what you're doing and actually very successful at it, again from the outside, successful at it, but inside of you, you kind of lack that sense of clarity because a lot of what you're doing has become about meeting obligations instead of the passion that you actually have for doing it. This is not as rare of a problem as you might think it is if you're in this situation. I want you to know that it's not as rare as you might think it is. A lot of people who are carrying a heavy load, responsibility, people looking up to them, people expecting them to be responsible and take care of things and have the answers, they can lose themselves, in all of that responsibility and kind of forget why they're doing everything in the first place in terms of their sense of purpose and fulfillment. You can really, really forget why you're doing all this, and you get caught up in simply being the person everybody relies on. So if you have lost that sense of clarity, this is the number one thing that I want you to do, because it's something that I think you can do it easily, especially if it's for just a short amount of time. You can do it relatively easily, and it'll give you some headspace, some time to clear your thinking and to really think about what you're supposed to be doing with your life and why you're doing it. So this is what it is. I want you to change your environment. Now, why do I say this? Now, if you're like me, and I think a lot of you are out there are similar to me. You like to work out, you like to exercise in some way. Now, for me, I like to go to the gym, lift a bunch of weights. That makes me feel great. Makes me, helps me to clear my mind, gain clarity on things. But the key to it is this. When I go to the gym, and if you're like me, if you go to the gym, you've probably noticed this. When you go to the gym, you're removing yourself from your normal environment and putting yourself into this totally different environment. And then once you get there, you do have, it's like your mind just opens up because you're there for a very specific purpose. And there, how do I put it? There is no other purpose for the gym to exist other than for you to go and work out. That's pretty much all it's there for. And so when you go, you immediately gain a clear sense of your purpose for being there because you change your environment, and it allows you to just let go of everything else that's been bogging you down, okay, throughout the day or throughout the week or the months or whatever kind of pressures you have. You can kind of let go of that and just clear your mind and be there for the purpose of improving your body and your mind. Okay. And so the key point is this: change your environment. Changing your environment, even for just a short amount of time, is going to be very, very helpful in you getting back that clarity. Okay. This is one of the reasons why I offer the VIP Focus and Follow Through Retreat in Japan. That's why I tell you to come on here, come to the retreat. It's because I know that if I get you out of the environment that you're accustomed to being in, and you come here and you're in a completely different environment, unless you either currently live in Japan, this is going to be, or maybe you've had some experience in Japan previously. Unless you have done those things, then this is going to be a completely different environment. Mark Johnson here. I'm excited to invite you to join Bounce Pep's 3-day VIP Focus and Follow Through Retreat here in Kyoto, Japan. Your time is the most valuable asset that you have, and you can't waste it. So I want you to come join me. I'm going to work with you personally. We're going to work on what your true purpose should be at this point in your life so that you can focus in on it and you can follow through and make progress. You're going to be treated like a true VIP. You're going to have 2 days of the actual program where we do a bit of work, and then we're going to have 1 day where you go on a curated tour through the legendary city of Kyoto, Japan. If you've never been to Japan, this is your chance. Changing your environment. This is the key thing I want you to start thinking about doing, and the sooner the better. Get out of the environment that you're out, because that's what's creating all that pressure that you feel, and all that you know that sense of obligation of being weighed down, and forgetting about why you're doing what you're doing. I mean, really, in terms of your sense of purpose, why are you actually doing? The point is, change your environment so that you can clear your mind, and that's going to help you gain more clarity on where you should be moving from here on out. Because we only have so much time. And the reason I can talk about this is because I've dealt with this in my own life. So I know what it's like to have people depending on me and to feel uh, kind of burdened by obligations and doing a lot of things because I'm obligated to do them, not necessarily because I feel a deep sense of purpose about them. I know what that's like. I've been there, so I understand. And if you come to the retreat, you're going to be helped with that problem. You're going to gain clarity. You're going to figure out what you should be doing from here on out. You're going to actually come up with some steps that you can take. Okay. We're going to follow up with you to make sure that you get started, you follow through on what you say you want to do, that you actually make real progress. If you're dealing with this issue right now, you can go ahead and contact Bounce Back. We have a program for you. Okay? VIP focus and follow through retreat. It's for you. All right. So, gonna leave you with that. Take this with you. Talk to you next time.